Hello everyone. In this video I will show you how you can create a project on Eclipse and then create a Git tracker for that and also push it to your GitHub repository. So in this case we have our Eclipse open, and what we're going to do is we're just going to create a simple Java project. And as you know, what's going to happen is now I have this project here. I can have a class here. I can have a package, let's say class 01, and then we would have here some classes on it. All right, now this is our project so far. So now you know that when we create this project, if you go into Explorer and try to look at it, it has created some folders for you there. So in that case, you'll see that it has, this is my project, inside has these folders. So basically automatically it created this project for us in our directory as well. Now what we need to do is, if we want to keep track of changes here, we need to use Git to initialize a repository there. So we need to find out where this is. Now, typically, all the time, your projects created on Eclipse are going to be on the Eclipse workspace. And that is usually found on under your user. So right now, I am currently on my user. I'm going to change my directory to go to my Eclipse workspace. In this case, I have renamed my workspace, and this is it. By default, you'll have just Eclipse workspace. And now in this case, I want to go, so you want to be careful here. We are still not, so if you look at the print working directory, we are still not inside our project. Whenever you initialize a Git repository, you want to be inside the project so that only the files on that project are tracked. So again, I will go inside to my project here, and now here, as you see, I'm inside my project. If we do an ls, you will see the same files that we saw earlier on our folder. So how do we create this repository? How do we initialize the repository? So in order to, when we are creating a new project, in order to keep track of what we are, let's say what we are going to do, we do a git init. We say git init. What this does, it just initializes a repository. So to see that, I want to go and show that to you in inside in the folder itself. So let's go into our project folder. As so far we just have these files. As soon as I press enter on this git init, it says that it has initialized an empty Git repository. And the difference that you're going to see is you have a .git folder here, which might be hidden in your computer. If you enable the hidden files to be seen, then you should be able to see that. So Git uses this information there to keep track of everything that we are doing. Now, if we created a Git add, we initialized basically, if we created an init, we initialized the repository. So if you look at Git status, we will see that we have some untracked files. All of these files are not tracked yet because we just initialized. Now, next we want to say git add. So in this case, we now want to move these changes forward. So we are putting them to staging area. If you look again at the status, you'll see now that these are ready to be committed. So we can now say git commit with a message here. Let's say first commit. And now you will see that you are up to date. So you are up to date in the sense that your working directory, your staging area, and local repository are up to date. So, but still, this project is not yet on your GitHub. So how do you take this project on your GitHub? To basically transport this or to connect this to your remote repository, what you need to do, you need to go to your GitHub, and then on your GitHub account here, you can go ahead and say, I want to create a new repository. And this repository, let's say I want to name it as my first project. And we're going to leave it public, and we're not going to specify much stuff right now. So we're just going to create this repository. So now what we need to do is we have our local repository. We have added our project there. So we just need to add what we call a remote where we want to connect to, and then we need to push there. So you will find these commands helpful because here it will tell you that this is how you push an existing repository. So if we try to do this, we are actually pushing this existing repository that we have to the online, and you see it went through and all right. So now in terms of the branch, you can change it or not, but still for now it will not have any implications on your work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run both of those, and once you run those, you would be able to, you'll change your branch to main, and then you will send this project online. Now if I just refresh this project here, I have every file that I created there. So I have my class 1, I have this empty hello world Java. All right, now when you do this the first time, you're gonna have, so whenever you run this flag the first time, you're gonna have to authenticate. All right, and for that one, I would direct you to watch the authentication video for the first time when you are using it. All right, now your project is online. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.